Hey guys, Cam here at the Battler Workshop and welcome. Well, it's been a little while since I've had a video up, but before I kick off I want to talk about a video that Tom Knock put up from Hilltop Machine Works. I subscribe to Tom. Tom's one of those genuine blokes that you like to watch and you like to see what he's up to. But unfortunately Tom suffered a horrific fire through his workshop, and with that fire he also sustained some horrific burns to his legs, arms and his face. He's been recovering now for a number of months, and I could not imagine what Tom would be going through in that pain. It's just something that I think all of us would find absolutely unbearable. But he's on the mend, which is great news. With that type of fire comes a lot of cost, and cost to yourself personally, medically, the cost for the bills, and also the cost for the equipment in his workshop and the workshop in general. His wife Bess has put up a GoFundMe page to help Tom financially get back on his feet, and it would be great if you're watching this to have a look at the link down below. Have a look at what Tom went through, and if you feel that you can, chip in a few bob to help him on his way. He certainly deserves it, and I think it's a bit of an eye-opener for all of us playing in our workshops, just what can happen and what can go wrong, and it can happen to any of us. So Tom, thanks for sharing the video. It certainly struck a chord in me, and how I'm going to set up my workshop and protect myself and I guess the assets that I have in here. But as I said, if you can help Tom out, please do so. Alright, what's been happening around here? Well, I have been working an awful lot. I did work through Christmas and New Year. They were very long hours with a skeleton crew, I guess, that I was looking after. Matter of fact, my New Year's Eve started at 7 o'clock Saturday morning, and I didn't get off the plant until after 10 o'clock that night, so that was a very long day. But after we finished the Christmas New Year works, we headed off on holidays. We went off to Sydney for 2 weeks and had an absolutely wonderful time. Weather was fantastic. What we saw, what we did was absolutely wonderful. It was very, very relaxing and really recharged, which is what holidays are all about, I guess. And this is the first year that we haven't been down to Torquay for nearly 20 years camping. So we've elected not to go down there and set the tent up, but we've elected to go somewhere else this year, and Sydney was it. So very, very enjoyable. Alright, the other thing I've been doing too is clearing out my father's estate. So we finished all the financials, and we cleaned up his unit and got all those legals and everything sorted out. The one thing that myself and my brother had been putting off was cleaning out his 40-foot container. When he sold his home and his workshop and downsized, he kept all that equipment that he had in his workshop and jammed it into a 40-foot container. And I can tell you, I've never seen anything like it. It was like cave diving. It was from floor to roof. And you breathe in and you squeeze down this little tiny corridor of this 40-foot container, and it is just absolutely chock-a-block full of stuff. So myself and my brother, we started to make a dent in it, but it's going to be a number of weeks or weekends going down there and cleaning that out. So he's got his 40-foot container on, a good mate of his, Robbins, but we think it's time to start getting that cleaned out and get that sorted out. So we've started bringing a lot of the gold, I guess, the good stuff back between our two workshops, between Andrew's workshop and my workshop, and things have got fairly chock-a-block in here now, I can tell you. We've got, I think, most of the good stuff out. We've got the lathes, the milling machines, disc sanders, bandsaws. We've got all the big heavy stuff out, and we've got that over at my brother's workshop. And I think probably 95% of the stuff now is going to be junk, and that's all going to go to the tip. But it's a lot of work, and it sort of prompted me a little bit to have a look around my own workshop, and I've started doing some major rearranging and some cleaning up myself. So this little video is going to be on just a little system. It's very simple. My wheel round trolley that I use, my wheel round toolbox, just had stuff thrown in it and all the drawers. There was no organisation, and I've been looking around on how I could organise that better, and I've come up with a very, very simple, easy solution that anyone can do. So we'll have a look at that, We'll also have a look at the furnace. So I did fire that. So I've fired that 3 times now, and I must admit that black pack lining that I put on has held up extremely well at the moment. So we'll have a quick look at that as well. The ITC 100 product that I usually use came in the post, so we'll have a bit of a look at that as well. All right. Well, let's kick off, and I'll show you what we're doing on the toolbox, on the wheel round toolbox. And as I said, it's very, very simple, and I think anyone can do this. You've got this, or even in your drawers, you can do this little system. It's very, very cheap and very easy, and I think it's a really good little system. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm sure a lot of us are like me, and we have drawers that are like this. We just have junk thrown, or junk tools thrown everywhere. And I spent a lot of time working through them to try and find bits and pieces that I need. Files, once again, are just thrown in. And I've been looking around for a simple dividing system. And there's lots of stuff on the net with guys making up inserts out of metal or out of timber. But for me, that's fairly time consuming, and I wanted something that was going to be quick and easy. And when I was building my shed out the back, some of the old stormwater downpipe I had was rectangular in section. And I sort of thought, if I cut that up, maybe I can use that as an insert type setup. And this is how it looks. So I've got some more inserts I'm going to put in here, so I'm going to show you the process that I go through. One of the issues is when I cut the tops off that stormwater downpipe, is that the ends cup in, so there's a way that I've got that I reset those and get them nice and square. But that's the material there, and I bought that from my local Bunnings store. And you buy it in 3 metre lengths, and that cost me $24. And I reckon that'll just about see me out on this drawer. Alright, I'll measure this one up and we'll get a couple of these made up, and we'll take you through the process and just how simple it is. They're white too, which makes it really, really easy to find stuff with the light coming off it as well. So it's worked out really, really well. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so I'm going to make up 3 at 180 millimetres long. And I just use the drop saw for these. It does a good job. The side that you want to keep, make that to the top, because it tends to rip out the bottom a little bit, which is the bit we're going to be cutting off. Oh, might help if I plug it in. When you have a look at these, you'll often find one side is bowed, the other one's a bit straighter. We're going to cut the bowed side off. So I just do the old finger set. And I'll do that to all 3. I just slightly clamp it in my the jaws of my workhorse here. And using a tenon saw, fine tooth is much better. Cutting this PVC. done, so it takes no time at all. I'll cut the other two up and we'll go in and do our straightening. As you can see, they cup over quite a fair bit. Alright, just a quick deburr with some emery paper and just a couple of rubs and that comes off, but as you can see, these have cupped over quite a bit. And we need to get that out. And the easiest way to get that out, just a little butane burner, and I use this for shrink wrap on wiring. Just a nice straight edge that you can work off and hold and support it, and just put a little bit of tension down on it, and just run the flame up and down the edge. And you'll feel it starting to go. There it goes now. You can work a little bit, but that's come up nice and square now. Very happy with that. Alright, we'll just do the other side. Once again, just keeping a bit of tension on it. Just running that flame up and down on that edge on that corner. When it gets to that plastic state, you'll feel it starting to go. There it goes now. That has now come up nice and square. Alright, I'll get the other two done and we'll see how they fit in place. Righto. Put these all into place. Now, as you can see, this one's going to be a short one. I'm going to put this one up the end, but I've packed them together. I'm just going to mark that point there where I'm going to cut it, and that will sit up inside the back against there. So it's going to be just a little bit narrower. So I'll quickly do that one now, and we'll show you how that looks. Alright, so that's all trimmed up. Just do a little bit of a deburr on that. Just a bit of emery. There we go. When I do the ones on this far side here, we'll make them fairly tight, so that will push that across and close up any little gaps. As I said, we'll get some bulldog clips and just clip them over just to hold all them in place. Alright, I'll quickly do the ones on this side and we'll show you how the whole system looks. Alright, I've got a pack of these fold back clips, or I call them bulldog clips. These are the small ones. And I reckon you can just clip them together. Once they're done, you can then remove I guess you can leave it in there if you want to, but remove it. Remove the little spring. That's as simple as that, and that holds them all in place then, locks them all off. Now there's one further modification I'm going to make. Alright, so this is where I've got all my rulers, and I know they're going to get thrown all over the place and end up in a bit of a mess, so we can put a further divider inside the dividers. And I've got some of this plastic angle that I use as edging when I cut timber up, particularly around the workshop here, and I'll show you where I've used it, where I've got this little offcut from. So we're going to use the plumber's glue, and we're going to glue that into place and create a divider for the rulers. And we can put some further dividers in here further if we want to. So we can divide these up a little bit further. So let's get that cut up and we'll get that glued into place, and we'll see how that works. Alright, we've cut a little bit to length. We're going to glue that in now. I tried a different couple of glues. I tried some super glue, some Araldite, and I tried the blue plumber's glue. The other one's just popped off. That's not coming off. So if we can try and keep the colour inside the angle without spewing everywhere, we'll be going well. So that's the glue we're going to use. Alright, I'll get this set up, get this in place, and we'll show you how it looks. So I've just got a ruler up here to give us a guide where we're going to have this glue into place. So I think it's pretty good just there. Alright, we'll just hold that in place now. Alright, that should do it. I'm just going to get a rag and just give it a bit of a clean up. Rightio, that's a spot for all of our rulers. So I've made it a little bit wider so it's easy to get your hands into. So that's worked out really well. Alright, I'm going to put a little divider across the front there, and that'll divide this section out a little bit. So we can put dividers inside the dividers quite easily. Alright, I'm going to carry on with the rest of the toolbox. Alright, so this is how it all came up in the end. So I'll put our little divider in here, and I'll put another divider in here. So we've got our centre punches and our scribing and deburring instruments on their own. But geez, what a difference. I'm really happy with how that's come up. So I'm going to carry on with the rest of the drawers, and probably the next video I'll show you how they all came up. Alright, as promised, this is the furnace, and I've had this up a couple of times now, up to 1200 degrees, and it's just got some very light hairline cracks in it, and a couple of spots only. So that black patch has worked out really well. We'll go and get the ITC product that came in the mail, and we'll show you what that looks like. And as I said, that's the highly reflective coating that can go on this, or I can leave the black patch as it is. But I'll go and get the ITC so you can see what that looks like as a package. Alright, so that's the ITC 100, and that's from Amazon through a company called Mr. Volcano. As I said, it's a highly reflective coating that'll run up to about 2600 degrees C. It's extremely effective, and as I said, I bought that for about $65 Australian delivered, so certainly come down from the original price, which was up over 120 Australian. Alrighty, as I said, I'm very happy with that, and we do have some work for this, so that'll be coming up in the next few videos. I've got some bronze we want to cast up for some way wipers on the Victor lathe. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all very soon. Cheers for now.